Hello, my name is Father Dennis Gallagher. I'm the Provincial Superior of the Augustinians of the Assumption. We're popularly called the Assumptionists. I'm the Superior of the North American province of our community. I'd like to offer a few words by way of a Christmas message this year. The Feast of Christmas is particularly important because it was on Christmas Eve in the year 1850 that the first Assumptionists took their final vows in the south of France, in Nîmes, France, and that effectively launched this community of men who have, in the last, since that time, last more than 150 years now, have worked to extend the kingdom of God, to help to build up the kingdom of God. Father Dalzon, our founder, said to build up the kingdom of God both within us and around us by various means, through education, through popular press, through missionary work, in any number of different ways. We Assumptionists have gone to the far corners of the world to be men filled with zeal for God's kingdom and helping to build up that kingdom in our world. I'm struck this year, as I am perhaps most every year, with the importance of celebrating Christmas at this particular point in time in our history. I mean, the history of our church, the history of our civil society, the history of our world. I say every year we have reason to rejoice in a God who chooses not to remain at a safe distance from the suffering that we experience here in our world. And this year in particular, the particular forms of suffering in our church, the conflicts within our church, the many different ways in which men and women feel themselves alienated from one another through socioeconomic reasons, for reasons of oppression, for reasons that essentially keep people as unwanted migrants and wandering in the world. So many different forms of suffering that we are exposed to every day and that we experience in our own lives. So we have a God who chose not to remain safely distant from that, but rather to come, and this God is a God of great surprises, a God who comes and comes so close to us, becomes so vulnerable for us as a baby in our midst, that we can reach out and touch. A God who chooses to experience everything that is part of the fabric of our human life, everything except sin. To know that we have a God who loves us in that way. You know, we oftentimes say to somebody else, we might say, "Well, you should walk in my shoes." Well, we have a God who chose to walk in our shoes, who became one of us, and which means, of course, that we in turn are able to be confident that when we bring everything that we are to our prayer and to our life, that we have a God who knows what it is that we experience, who knows what it means to suffer loneliness, to be despised sometimes by others. This God knows all of that, and we have confidence that we can go to Him, and God will understand our situation. So we Assumptionists on this Feast of Christmas are recalling our past and confident in the future that remains ahead for us here in our province in North America, but also throughout the 37 countries in the world that we find ourselves. We want to continue to bring the word of Father Dalzon to help to bring hope to the world by announcing a God who has loved us so much. So that's the message I would like to bring to you, to your families, to your communities. Let's together join in the great task of building God's kingdom in this world. God bless you.
Excellent. Yeah, sometimes that comes on, but it doesn't mean anything.